Okay, hey there guys, so we're on to the second war now of the season, and I'm actually keeping up to date with it so far, so hopefully that continues. So we're against DSVG for our second war. They had a pretty good season last time, so I wasn't expecting an easy war, but this isn't obviously quite as stressed out going into it. I feel like it's the TCN war, but I still want to play really well, got some good boosts going. Gonna be using Doom for a couple fights, so I throw on the Mystic Power Back boost, mainly for one fight, but I was kind of dumb and I didn't really think that through. We'll get there later. We get there when we get there. So my plan and what my officer told me to, my plan was just don't let him throw specials anyway, but my officer confirmed, yeah, that's the plan. I throw on the regen boost because I'm hoping for a fast fight and I want to counteract some of the Psychic Thorns damage if I can avoid a potion, because I have 5 out of 5 on the regen boosts and they're really easy to keep up with because no one really uses regen boosts intentionally. I did a good job keeping him off his specials, just hold block, bait out the heavy. As long as I don't let him dex and then throw a special, he was going to be fine and wasn't going to get any extra judgments and damnation me and anything like that. Get the SP3 off, and at this point, I was actually on this fight tracking how much my SP3 did, because it's 200% per percent that I do per back to percent into me. So I was actually just trying to keep track of that. I don't really think what I just said makes sense, but it's how the power back boost system works. So I just wanted to actively try to think about that, because sometimes when I use Doom with power backs, I don't, and I felt like that was a good time to practice being able to judge how much I'd have, so I started off with a different combo to just go straight into the SP2 and kill. Here on this fight, I was trying to decide if I wanted to go for 5-hit or just 4-hit combos. I get the glance on me, and I was realizing with how long his special is, if I wait, slow down my combo, and I'm able to squeeze out a bleed right after that glance falls off. I just honestly didn't want him to even throw another special there. I should have held my block considering I have the regen passive. Here, I didn't wait long enough, so I missed it by half a second, but then I'm just going to throw my SP2. Does a fair bit of damage, and deep wounds right there is going to kill him with the direct burst damage. Pretty simple fight there on both of those, honestly. CGR, yeah, I just didn't want to let him throw that special, and right as I get up to SP3, I also had 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion on. So all the buffs from the prowess, from the physical resist, his armor, were just all really helping me get up there quickly. Gonna throw this Power Start 1 on because I can use it for back-to-back fights, which will be really, really good for. Well, I can use it for back-to-back fights unless I take a very, very long time on this fight, because Doom can sometimes be a little bit slow, but this was actually one of the fights I wanted the Power Back boost on for. Maybe even the main fight, if I'm being honest. I'll spoil, I guess, one of the fights. My 2 mini-bosses that I take with Doom, I'm not too happy with how I took either of them. Definitely want to do better on both of them, or either of them, next time I have to take the fight like this. Yeah, I just didn't find myself too happy with how I ended up taking them. For some reason, he was actually letting a lot of my shock stick, so I was able to get a couple heavies off early here. This early part is really just a lot of baiting, and I'm really just trying to get up to SP3 and him to be below a bar of power, and I get my aura up with as few power stings as possible. So right here, he has low power, I have SP3. I didn't think I wanted to try to do the cycle too much, because that's going to push him over and under bars of power a lot, which is why you don't always do it on certain champions and certain nodes. And I thought it'd be better to not do it like that on this node. But I kind of actually forgot about that until this moment. I forgot that this node has that buffet, not buffet, but the one where it nullifies you and it gives him power for it, and I completely forgot about that. So right here, I was just trying to get up and use my SP1, but I actually ended up, because of Mystic Dispersion, I gave him a debuff, and I actually got him up to an SP, or I got myself up to an SP2 accidentally. So right here, I just want to, again, throw another SP2 nice and quick. This is kind of where I want this fight to be, me having the ability to throw a couple quick SP2s and really just go to town on him. But as you can see why I said I didn't quite like it. I forgot about the Conflictor, not Conflictor, why can't I think of this node's name, but the node where buff turns to power for them. I forgot about that, so I didn't get my Fury out of it, which would have been really nice, of course, from a Doom SP3 to get that Fury. Those SP2s would have hit a lot harder. Some people moved up, so I didn't actually have to use that spare energy, which would have been fine if I did, because I ended up ending the war with 1 energy extra. So this Apocalypse here, really, really basic fight for Nimrod. I just need to get over to my Blitz mode at any point before he throws a special, and I'm good. Right here, I was just going for a couple quick parries because I actually had that, what's it called, the advanced power boost still going, so I was going to get up there pretty quick. And right here, I'm waiting for one more parry so that I get my, or I wanted one more tick over. So I got my 10, so I'll enter Eradicate, and then I also want the extra armors. I don't have suicides on for this fight. Normally, I would have suicides when using Nimrod, but I didn't really feel like switching suicides off, or on and then off just for this one fight. It's just an apocalypse. I'll probably lose like 30 seconds at most, and I guess technically could have been a big difference, but you'll see the score in the end, won't you? Could have been a difference, but I did not feel it was worth doing. As you can see, I'm a little bit low on units right now. I need to get back in the arena, but I've just been not in the arena much. So I'm at my second fight already, and we are waiting for the person who's still on Mr. F over there to take down Mr. Negative, and I have a mini-boss on Mini-Boss Island. So I decided I was going to wait until he was almost done with that so I could carry a single Power Start 1 through these two fights. I decided to go for the Power Start 1. I want the Power Start 1 for the next fight, and I thought Power Start 1 would be nice here, so that way if I get a ton of poisons or if there's something happens, I have a special and I can get my evade counter maybe going, and you'll actually see that my strategy come into play. I thought about parrying, but then I decided midway through the run-in, I'm actually going to bait out a couple heavies, and as you see, I'm able to get just below my bar of power, and he still doesn't have his senses yet. Now he does, and I go for 2 quick hits. Now I have an evade counter for the next couple seconds. I, at this point, wanted just to try to merc in and kill him as fast as I can. He ended up throwing that, and it didn't quite let me dex out of it. I only get rid of the taunt because I kind of was silly and didn't think about the fact that I didn't have enough charges to drop the poisons, but it doesn't really matter that much. This is going to do a ton because of those prowess on me, and then I get parried. I was just slow on the counter there. Of course, a lot of new champions get up pretty quickly, but yeah, I was just a little bit slow off after that, but I have the SP2 in hand, and I actually had another champion I thought about swapping out for Nick Fury, but Nick Fury's extra life is just so good. So here is my mini-boss. I get the nice little King Groot. There were a lot of timing issues during this war on Saturday, and everyone wanted just to finish, and people's boosts were like minutes left at this point. That's why you'll see those couple like go-go-goes. So, Vigorous Assault, regen. But he's also global, so anytime he throws a special, I just don't do damage for a couple seconds, and that includes the special throwing and then the glancing. So my plan was SP3 and then try to get off a couple SP2s by using Mystic Dispersion. But there's just going to be a couple issues with that, and that's just how it's going to be. It'll kind of just be easier to see. I was worried, I think, about my Mystic Dispersion. I had been debating if I wanted Mystic Dispersion on, and yeah, for some reason I decided to have Mystic Dispersion and then not try to play aggressively with it in fear of an SP3, even though I probably would survive an SP3. Again, I should have thrown my SP3 there before he gets the regen, so that way it ticks over right as I throw it. I throw it, I come out, he drops his regens, I dash in, or he drops his furies, I dash in, he gets his regen, I get the 5 buffs worth of Mystic Dispersion, and even if he was at low power like he was there, it would have been fine. And yeah, I didn't nullify anything on 7 hits, 8 hits. Don't know how that happened. And as I said, I just don't like how I played this. He gets another glancing buff on me, or debuff. So this SP2 does literally nothing, but I figured I might as well throw it. I have a Fury up. It's going to do more than nothing, I guess. And this fight is taking a while, and as I said, I knew people's boosts were running out. So I was trying to fast play this, is the issue, I think. I think I wanted to do something too big. I was trying to get this like perfect Doom rotation set up, because it's safeguard, so right, you can't do more than 1% max damage. I should have put a stagger up right there. Actually, I guess I don't need the stagger that much. So I'm like, okay, here's my chance. I don't have a glance. He actually had a bar of power, so I can maybe even steal some power. Yay, 1% damage. Go in. Try to get up. And I get him... And I messed up and I didn't push him over 2 bars of power, so I get very little power back. And right here is a big error, I think. Is it here? Or is it in just a second? So I'm actually able to get off my SP2, but he's going to shrug off all those instantly, and now he has the regen. But I have my SP1 in hand from the Mystic Dispersion. So I'm able to do that. Oh, this is the error. So, as I said, it's Vigorous Assault. Pushes me to SP2, and he gets his regen. Because of the shock. I thought it would just take the 3. So what I start doing is I just hold block and let him hit me. I couldn't take an SP2 because it gives you a poison. And look how quickly he throws that right after my special. So yeah, because it gives you the poisons and I didn't want to deal with the poisons, I think it does extra damage during his Fury phase, so I think I maybe live. I maybe live if I take that, but I did not want to chance that. So I just hold block and I just let him hit me. Somehow that worked. And that was my final fight for the war. This was a fun war. I actually had a couple fights, not just like the 2 fights or whatever, or 4 fights. So we actually did have time on them as well, which was nice. As you can see, this season and next season are just going to be very, very slow fights. Last season with Ghost and everything, like all the alliances were like 7k fight times. Yeah, that was us, and now we're at 10.5 almost. Really, really good war to DSVG. Of course, they got some good guys over there. Very, very good alliance. Top tier for a while. Yeah, it was a fun war. Hopefully we see them again. Hopefully the season keeps playing out how it is, and we have a good final war of the week. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.